Hey, so this is Jay Money. I'm the VP of Partnerships and Community here at Truewerk.
Hey, I'm Brian. I'm a Senior Account Manager here at Truewerk.
Hey, I'm Chris Fry, Creative Director.
My name is Patrick Tullis. I'm the Director of Brand.
My dad was a contractor, carpenter, home builder.
My father's a service technician.
My dad was a lineman for Mountain Bell.
My father worked building houses for the first half of his career.
So one thing my dad did that I always really appreciated was he just put every ounce of effort he could into doing things correctly and doing things at a level of detail and craftsmanship and artistry that just made you stand back and say, wow, that's cool. And in many cases, it wasn't something the customer had asked for. It was just an idea he got. One example is he would gather sticks from the woods, just sticks about this big around, about this long, and he would peel them and finish them with linseed oil, and he would inlay them into staircase railings and make them look just incredibly beautiful and do all these handcrafted details that, again, the customer probably never really asked for. They didn't even know about something like that to ask for. He just thought it would look cool and took the time to do it, and rarely charged them for the extra effort it took to do that, just because he wanted to do that for himself.
For me, was growing up in the garage with him a lot. He was always fixing the cars, fixing things on the house, fixing our bikes, things of that nature. But you were never allowed to just hand over the project to him. You had to sit side by side. The old hold the flashlight scenario was my entire childhood. Me and my brothers joke about it all the time, still do to this day. And now it's stuff that I really appreciated as I gotten older, to really just take time to understand what's going on in the situation, be willing to learn, try new things. You're gonna screw up once in a while, but also reach out for help. You know, it's something that is taking time for me to learn as I've gotten older, but something I'm not afraid to do is reach out, ask for people, ask people's opinions, get their point of view, and just be willing to always to lend a hand.
And things that my father did that taught me the type of person I wanted to be are many throughout the privilege I've had to call him my father. The first thing that comes to mind was my father worked building houses for the first half of his career. But when he changed his career to becoming a FedEx delivery driver for the next 37 years, he had the same route for the full 37 years in the mountains. And we lived in an area that a lot of people didn't have a lot of extra in the bank. So when he was delivering, he started to really start to learn the community and become friends with everyone. His positive, optimistic attitude really helped build that community. But even more so, when he'd pull up to people's houses and see that maybe they needed new gutters, or would talk to them and hear that they had a plumbing issue or electrical issue, he would spend his weekends actually going and fixing that with no benefit to himself either. And that was something that I learned from him, as well as having empathy for others and how you can really leverage your community to make people's lives better. I think something else he taught me too is you always have more to give. You have to earn everything that you're doing. And an anecdote that comes to mind is we moved into this house, total fixer-upper, and he was using me and my brother as free labor doing demo in the house. And we were taking out all these walls and closets and everything else. And I was hitting this wall trying to take things out, and he looked at me and said, "Patrick, you got 20% more. You don't know how strong you are." And that story still really is ingrained in how I think about my day-to-day and how I operate when I'm doing things here at Truewerk.
I think the biggest thing, I kind of learned from my dad was work ethic. He woke up super early, came home super late, had 3 kids, and worked his tail off. And I think, that's something I hold to heart and how I approach my process and work with my teams and even my own family. I still think hard work beats talent every day of the week. It's all because of my dad. Happy Father's Day.